Veerle Van Tricht, and I'm so excited for everybody who sees this video because I have a lot of awesomeness to share with you. I want to talk to you about how you create more time and get your projects done. And this is important if you're a professional, an entrepreneur, a student, a mom or a dad, or just anybody who feels like, how am I going to get everything done because I have the family, the work, the household, everything to manage, and you just feel overwhelmed with all of these jobs. But basically first I want to talk to the entrepreneurs because it's very important that you finish your projects, especially if you have investors who want to see results at a certain date. You need to provide that result. And there's a lot of distractions in the world. I'm going to address all of that, how to stop procrastination, how not to get distracted, and much more. So I've got this very nice touchscreen here today, and so my name is Dr. Veerle Van Tricht. I also have an online program called the Burnout Expert, which you can find online. So who am I? Well, not only am I a medical doctor and an eye surgeon, and you can see me for private consultations in Newport. I was trained as a vitreoretinal specialist. I'm a best-selling author. Success Starts Today I co-wrote with Jack Canfield and others. And last year I had a best-selling award that I received in Hollywood, which was like the coolest thing ever. I really loved that. I'm also a success coach, so I love helping other people become empowered so that they can achieve the life of their dreams. And for many people that means having not to worry about money, having the freedom to be their own boss and to do what they like, and also bringing, like, everybody has something to offer in the world, and to bring that to the world and really create and be you and get paid for it. I mean, that's what everybody would love to do in essence. So I'm also a dive and a Reiki master, and I'm a mother of 3 kids, 3 cats and 1 dog. So you might wonder, how do I do it all? How did I get to write 2 books and work full-time and be a mom and travel the world with my kids? So it's a question of good time management. So here you see me in my role as an eye surgeon, and here I got my award in Hollywood last year for the best-selling book. And I took my children to the Caribbean a few times, and driving a horse on the beach was always on my bucket list, so we managed to do that there. So this is actually a good example of a balanced life. You have part work, part family, part creation and career and education and learning new things. I find it's very important for anybody in any stage of your life. Because if you don't learn and grow, I mean, what's the alternative? Just wilter. So I'm very, very keen on helping people manage their time so they actually manage their life better and create a happy, balanced life. Brian Tracy is one of the founders of the self-help, self-development industry. He's also written many, many books on the issue, and I do advise you read some of his books. One tiny little book that helps a lot is Eat That Frog, and it talks about how you how you approach any project. Is in the beginning of the day, you kind of do like the job that you don't like first and get it out of the way. That's one of the messages from one of his books that I will never forget. So when you are looking at your project and you have a start date and an end date, and you know what you have to do, you have to be clear on what you want to do. That's the first step. Oh. So first of all, to get motivated and stay motivated, you need to know what is your long-term plan. And we will go down to the short-term plans and goals also. But first of all, to stay motivated, you need to know where do you want to be in 5 to 10 years time from now. And you can dream really big, you know. Aim for the stars and end up at the moon is a very good achievement. So that's just an example of how dreaming big can actually keep me motivated. And I actually advise you make a vision board, and I would love to give you all like a group session on that, where we sit together, you bring all the photos of what you want to achieve in 5 to 10 years, and we all create a beautiful vision board for us that we can hang up in our bedroom. So every morning we wake up and we start doing that particular job or work. We know why we're doing it, because we know why we're doing it today, so it can lead us to that beautiful future that we're dreaming of in 5 to 10 years time. So imagine if you would have your ideal life in 5-year times. How would you feel in your body? Just imagine, where would you like to live in 5 years time? What does your home look like? What will your family look like? How do you want to wake up, and do you want to wake up with somebody else that you love? What work will you be enjoying in 5 to 10 years time? It's important you kind of close your eyes, sit down for a moment, and just think 5 to 10 years in the future. Where do you want to be ideally if you could have anything you desire? After you visualized your home, what you do for money, who lives in the home with you, how healthy and vibrant you're feeling, also think about what do you do for fun. And also, you can imagine how much money do you want to see in your account. Just visualize that, because visualization is so effective, because your brain, if you visualize this every day, your brain will accept this is the reality that you want, and you will start making the choices and decisions that lead to that outcome. So that's why visualization, and especially repeating it every day, is essential if you want to achieve these big dreams. And to give an example for students, when I was preparing for my medical exams many years ago, more than 20 years ago, I got this advice from one of my friends, and I visualized myself 3 times a day. I visualized myself doing really well at my exams. And when it came to the day of my exams, I don't think that my answers were better than anybody else's answers, but I was so confident when I was talking to the professors and they were questioning me. I was so confident that I was doing well, that they kind of believed that I was doing well, and I got really high scores. So I mean, it is also in believing in yourself, and you just radiate that belief. And of course, you have to put in the work too, but believing that you can achieve it is number one, and why you want to achieve it. So step 1 was clarity, and step 2 was the visualization. Step 3 is, now we're going to chunk it down. How are you going to get to that big dream? So there's a few steps involved. You need to make a plan for every year. So let's say you want to get there in 5 years. You need to know, what do I need to do in year 1 to get there after 5 years. You also then need to sit down every quarter. What do I need to do every quarter this year to get there at the end of the year? Then you also, every week, every Sunday night, you need to sit down and write down, what do I need to do this week, every day, so I can get ultimately to that long-term goal. And then you look down every morning in your organizer, and you need to decide, what is my priority today that I need to do, and I choose at least 3 things every day that brings me closer to my big goal and dream. So I don't know how many of you already have these habits, but these are habits that very efficient people worldwide do. And actually a lot of people have studied it and written books about it, so I'm not making that up. It's because I have studied with these people also, that I'm sharing that knowledge with you. And it works for me, so it will work for you too. So, something interesting that I want to show you. So, why do we need to prioritize? That's step number 4. Pareto was an Italian economist. I lost my photo. And what he found was that 20% of the effort you put into brings you 80% of the results. So that's why it's so important to look at your business or whatever you're trying to achieve, your studies, is to look at, what should I put most effort in? What brings me the best results? So for instance, for Elio, if he has more traction in Asia with Venture Capital Summit, then maybe you should put more effort in those areas. And it's just an example. I also looked at my own business. And if I see that most of my income comes from my doctor's job, then I've prioritized doing that first. And even though I love creating books and coaching people, it's not my priority every day. So I've changed that, and it makes more business sense to do the things that brings you the most benefit and profit. So do what is important first. And so for students, if they have to decide between shall I watch this Netflix series or shall I study for the upcoming exam, you know what will bring you closer to your dream of getting your degree, getting out into the world. Is not watching the Netflix movies tonight, but actually getting the study done. So it will help you give clarity on saying, no, this is not bringing me closer to my goal. Yes, this is bringing me closer to my goal. I need to prioritize this job, this effort, this task today. So Eat the Frog is the book that I was talking about, written by Brian Tracy, that I recommend. It's a very small book, easy read. It takes half an hour or something to read it. So there's a lot of things that will ask for your attention every day, but you need to prioritize. Look at your vision board, know where you're heading in the long run, and every day stick with brings you the most results. And then of course, once you've done that, there will be time for fun and family and lots of other things to do. So this is a nice schedule of the 80-20% Pareto principle that works in economics. So 20% of what we do brings us 80% of the results. I always think that's very nice how that demonstrates why you need to prioritize and what you need to prioritize. So step 5 is to stay in the moment. So once you've decided this is what I need to do, we'll do that most important thing first thing in the day. Then it's important that you don't get distracted. So I advise you get a sign like that. Please do not disturb. There's work, important work being done behind this door. Even if you work in an office with other people, or you work at home and you have the rest of the family hanging around. My children are old enough. When I say I don't want to be disturbed, it works. Unfortunately, my dog can open doors, so often comes in while I'm doing like a video presentation or an interview, and then my cat walks over my keyboard. So ideally I should have an office somewhere else outside of the house to do that, so I don't get distracted. So you do the sign on the door. You need to put your phone actually outside of your office, outside of the room where you're doing your work. Even because otherwise you get distracted by all these ping, ping, beep, beep and everything messages that come in. So the best thing is to just put it somewhere else where you don't hear it at all. And also we have a lot of apps on our phone that distract us, right? That sends us messages. First of all, you can turn the sound off and the messages off, or just delete those apps that are not really necessary on your phone, so you get things done that you want to get done. So the main distractions in modern life now come from electronics and from people. So you tell everybody, don't disturb me, I need 90 minutes to finish this task, and after 90 minutes they can come and knock on your door and I will have time to listen to you. I mean, that is acceptable, I think, in most work environments. And also get the phone out of the way, turn it off, put it in the locker, lock it up, and just don't look at it. Because honestly, if the building is on fire, the alarm will go off, and 90 people can do 90 minutes without you. So next one, step 6. I love this metaphor. I went to coaching school in Melbourne, the Coaching Institute, and they always use this metaphor. How do you eat an elephant? And then people think like, no, I can't eat an elephant. Yes, you can. One step at a time. That's the answer. So how do you overcome procrastination? Because I remember in my first year as a medical student, the things that I had to learn was like so many books. Nothing was online yet 30 years ago, so there was like a room full of books that I had to like cram in my brain, and the exam was like next week. and it's so overwhelming, right? So what I did, and what luckily I learned this, is I just moved all of the books out of the room, out of my sight, and I decided today I'm only going to study this. And then it's just one little book, and that's, oh, okay, I've got 12 hours or more in a day that I can study, and then, oh, and there's only 100 pages. That's easy then. Suddenly it becomes easy, because it's just a tiny bit, and then you can start working, because it seems like the work is achievable, and you will get it done. So bite sizes is very important. And also, most people can't concentrate for longer than 90 minutes. So if you really are, you sleep enough, and then you have a good breakfast. Ideally, you start off with a little bit of movement, like go for a run or do some stretches, do some yoga. Because if you want to be a really successful person, you need to do all of that to keep on going and keep on high performance habits. Every single day entails not only the work, but also taking good care of your health, good sleep, healthy food, and movement. So you get your task done, and then you start moving around, and you go for a walk around the block, or you run on a treadmill, or you do something physical, because your body needs to distress, and you need to create more feel-good hormones, which you get from exercise. And then you're ready to go for your next bite. So that is the ideal day, if you're in control of your day, to do it that way. So to repeat, leave your phone on silent and outside of your room. Only check your emails twice a day maximum, because you can constantly be looking at emails, and 95% are emails that you don't want to see. So when I was lucky enough to have a secretary, she deleted all the emails for me that were non-relevant. She probably spent an hour a day on doing that, and there was maybe one email a week that was really important that she then presented to me. So there's a lot of time wastage in emails, unfortunately. You know, people who need you urgently, they will phone you, right? And you need to tell that to the people who matter in your life. So if you don't want to get distracted by too many social media apps, I recommend you just delete them. And the do not disturb sign, we mentioned that. And for people who work at home, like a lot of entrepreneurs do, it's really tough when you have little kids running around or pets running around who want things the whole time. So I advise that you find another place to work. Every city has workplaces that you can use, or you can just sit in a cafe, or a cafe meaning a place where they sell coffee. In my language, it means a place where they sell beer, and it would be too loud to work there. So yeah, what I used to do, I had this beautiful coffee shop on the beach where I lived in Queensland, and I would just get comfortable there with my laptop and get lots of work done. So I even had some meetings there. It's just perfect. But no matter where in the world you live, you will find a quiet place somewhere where you can have good internet and just peace and quiet and just a cup of coffee. That's all you need to get the work done. Okay, and I would like people who are watching to actually share with me what their favorite place is outside of the home where they get that work done. Actually, another tip that I have, I love working on trains and on planes, because when I am alone on a train, and I always ask for a table seat, you can charge your electronics there. They often have Wi-Fi on trains, and you can, like, I create blog posts, I create new presentations. There's a lot of work to be done there, and you sit still in any case, nobody's interrupting you. Same thing on a plane. You're kind of restricted to your seat, you have a little table, and you can focus. So those are two of my favorite places to get a lot of work done without too many distractions. So step 7, I love my Sunday evenings when I look at the big dream, and then I decide what do I need to achieve this week. And I write out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, essential things to do. What can I do to bring my business forward? What can I do for my health? What can I do depending what your goals are in that moment? To use as examples, for me, I have this job, I have that job, I need to finish the blog post, I need to, it's like it depends, everybody's life is different, but what you need to do that week to get you closer to your goal, 3 essential things, you know, always. Also 3 people to contact each day, because you're probably waiting for some responses, or you probably have people that you could help, or they could help you, or that you need to get into contact with, who could be potential customers. So I have this written down on Sunday evening, so I know when I get up Monday morning, and it's crazy trying the kids ready and bringing them to school, but I already have everything ready that I need to do. I need to get in the car with these things, so I can start my week very efficiently, basically. Because if you are a parent and you have a business and you're trying to grow something else and you have another job, and you need to be organized, otherwise you just go crazy and get burnout, just like I did when I had my first child. If you want to know more about that, go to https://www.burnoutexpert.co.uk, where you can get my online burnout recovery program, and it has 6 modules in it. And one of them is time management, a lot more extensively than this presentation. It also has workbooks, meditations, and everything. It's a very, very holistic program. So that's my Sunday evening routine, and you arrive at work on Monday looking all prepared and successful at your job. That's the idea. So step number 8, if you can't do it yourself, so you could learn to do it yourself. For instance, me and technology, it's a problem. But I learned to do a lot of things myself, like doing Facebook Live. I didn't know how to do that 2 years ago, so now I can do it. If you look at your list of jobs or things that you need to do, either you can do it yourself, or if you have staff or anybody else who can do it, you delegate it, or if it's not that essential, you just delete it and say, sorry, I can't take you to the birthday party because there's not enough hours in the day. Or you ask somebody else to drive your child to the birthday party. And of course, technology, you can find a lot of things on Google and online on how to do, just type in how to start a Facebook Live video, and there will be explanations, and you can learn to do it yourself. Step 9. So I already spoke about the importance of good sleep and good mood to be a successful entrepreneur. And what I love about my schedules is that when I achieve things, and I have this big book in my bag, that I tick off all the things that I've achieved. And you know what? The sense of achievement you get from finishing these jobs, you produce dopamine in your brain and serotonin, and it makes you feel good. And you actually, just like running, it becomes addictive to be successful and effective in doing what you're supposed to do, and actually giving yourself that reward. So your brain will reward you, like, yes, I did it, yes, I passed my exam, yes, I finished studying that course, yes, I got my first client, yes, I achieved this financial goal, yes, I finished this project that my investor wanted me to finish in this time frame. You will feel so good that your brain wants more and more of it. So you become a high achiever if you do this. And I must say, I'm kind of addicted to success at the moment. So for me, it's really hard to not have a next project. But, you know, you deserve a break now and then. I take my kids on a holiday and relax. So the 10th step is, if you have problems implementing this and you need somebody to hold your hand who's been through it all before, I advise you get a coach. There's a lot of coaches that you can get in your own environment. I'm available. I would love to empower you to become successful at achieving your dreams, becoming successful entrepreneurs, to become somebody who has a balanced life, who can balance work, career, family. That's something I'm very passionate about. So contact me if you want help, because I love empowering people. It's the thing that really, really gets me going. I love to see all of the people I've helped, and like after we work together, they like their life takes off in like such a better way, and they have a big smile on their face and they glow because they're more true to themselves. And we all want to be true to ourselves. We all want our essence to shine through and just like be successful and let people see all of the talents we have and put it to good use for other people. So that was what makes us like feel like we really are living our mission in our lifetime. And I think that is what ultimately makes us so content that I didn't want to be negative to say like that we can die knowing that we've lived a full and happy life. But it sounded like a bit of a negative ending to my presentation. So if you want to learn more about how to create time, I have 6 modules online that you can get at this website, .co.uk, and it is like only £97 for the self-study program, and you get a free ebook, and you can also like put your name down to get my blogs, which got a lot of holistic tools to help you live a healthier, more successful, empowered life. So I hope to see you either there online, or you can contact me in person for coaching or for any speaking. You can contact me via my website, or even better via my Facebook page, which is Dr. Veerle Van Tricht. And this is the end. And